Hello, this is Carls, your friendly neighborhood violin teacher. Today we're going to be studying a piece called We Have a New Governor, which is kind of a strange name for a piece, but it comes from a cantata by Johann Sebastian Bach. A cantata is basically a tiny, tiny opera without costumes. I mean, they're not naked, they're just wearing ordinary clothes. So a tiny opera where they're wearing ordinary clothes and not costumes. That's what a cantata is. And so this is a little song from that little cantata. And I will go ahead and play the song for you now, and then I'll teach you how to do it yourself. Okay, so that's the whole song. Let's first go over all the notes in that song, and we're going to do that using the sort of the peanut butter sandwich kind of rhythm. So the notes are D, actually I can go a little closer here so you can see it here. D, first finger on the D string, which is called E, second finger on the D string, which is called F sharp, third finger on the D string, which is called G, open A, first finger on the A string, which is called B, no C sharp. It sounds like we're playing a scale, but there's no C sharp. Third finger D. I'll do that again. I'll play all the notes in the song without saying anything. Here we go. Now, you all should have a PDF or you should have like a digital copy of the sheet music available. And if you notice that at the top of the top right-hand side of the page, it says notes used in this piece. And that little line of notes is what I just played here. I'm going to play you those notes again, this time from a different angle, like this, so you can get a better idea of what we're doing here. So we're going to be starting on the D string. Here we go, on the D string without any fingers down. First finger on the D string. So D1, and the name of this note is E. D2, or F sharp. D3, or G. And then no fingers on the A string. A1, which is called B, and A3, which is called D. Okay, so those are the names of the notes. Now in this piece has pretty much a bunch of notes that are called quarter notes. Quarter notes are black notes with a little stem, and there are two kinds of notes that are black, I suppose. They're black with a little stem, and the other ones, and they're by themselves. The other ones that are black are beamed together with like a little sort of thick black line. And they also have this little curved line underneath them, and those are called eighth notes. So the black notes can be quarter notes, which are by themselves, And black notes can also be eighth notes, which are notes that are beamed together in groups of 2 with a little beam, or groups of 4. And all the eighth notes in this piece will be slurred in pairs of 2. So what on earth am I talking about? Well, a slur is when, I think you guys may have seen this somewhere, but just to be safe. A slur is when you play 2 notes in the same bow. So let's pick the beginning of the song. Here's the first 2 notes of the song are D and first finger D, which is E. So the first 2 notes of the song are. Now I can play them like that, where each note, this note gets an up bow, and the next note gets a down bow. So that's called playing with separate bows, because each tone gets its own bow. If I play them both in the same bow, that's called a slur. So throughout this song, all the little pairs of eighth notes are slurred together. I'll play the first line twice so you can see and hear where the slurs are. Here we go. Point out, I played the first line once. I'll play it a second time and point out where the slurs are. So here we go. Slur, 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 slur. So slurs can be tricky to play because it's easy to use a lot of bow. It's easy to use a lot of bow with them. So to play slurs well, save your bow. Don't use a ton of bow for them. Tiny bows. Tiny, tiny, tiny bow, tiny bow. Let's see, what else? Oh, you're right. I think you all may know this or may remember this too, but at the end of the first line at the end of the first line of music are 2 vertical lines, and one is kind of skinny and one is kind of fat. And that skinny line and that fat line have a couple of dots kind of right before them. So that's called a repeat symbol. And that means you should go back and play that line again. And you notice the end of the piece also has a repeat symbol, and it points you back to the start of the second line. So basically where those 2 pairs of dots talk to each other, it's gonna be a little weird without a drawing here, but anyway, if you have like 2 little dots, you start the music here and you play through till these dots, that means you play between those 2 sets of dots, you play that thing twice. So, what I'm gonna do now is I'll play the whole song again with the repeats and with the slurs, so you can see how it all fits. And I'll do it even again with a different view so you can see a little bit better about what my fingers are doing. So, here's the whole piece again with repeats. Here we go. So that was the first line with the repeat. Now we're starting the second line. So I've gotten to the end of the piece where the repeat marks are. So I have to play the last 2 lines again, because that's what the repeats tell me to do. Okay, we'll do it one more time over here from this perspective, so you can see how the piece works together here. Here we go. Okay, so that should be enough to kind of get you guys off the ground and get you started. Yeah, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.